Armor case, I'm going to show you how to properly install it to make sure that it's watertight and your iPhone is super protected. So first off, let's take it out of the package and see what all it comes with and make sure that we follow these instructions carefully. Alright, so here you have your 3.5mm headphone jack extension, which you will need when you're using this case. And then you have inside of the actual case, you have all your accessories. 2 microfiber cloths, you have your lanyard, a few little spare parts, an extra O-ring, and then you also have an O-ring that's already installed. And then behind the little fake iPhone cardboard, you have some very important information. You have your installation checklist and then your everyday use checklist. Now I recommend that you keep this card around so you can refer back to it at a later date if you ever need to. So inside you have all the information that you're going to need, but I'm going to take you step by step through this so you have a visual way to look at it and make sure you're doing this properly so that your phone is safe and secure. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure that your O-ring is installed and perfectly seated in the groove all the way around. Now it comes pre-installed, but you definitely want to check this out just to make sure. So after the O-ring, the other thing you're going to want to check is the headphone jack cover at the bottom to make sure that it's screwed all the way in and snugged up to the bottom of the case. Next, you're going to take one of the microfiber cloths, lay it out, and lay it inside of the case. And what you're doing here is to make sure that this microfiber cloth is dry when you're done doing your first initial water seal test. Okay, now you're going to want to seal the case. You're going to start at the middle of one side and work your way around all the way around the different sides of the top and the bottom of the case. Make sure that you have no gapping in between on any of the seams. This one here is really easy to see because it's red, so you're going to see red if you have any type of gapping issue. And then after that, you'll clip the bottom charging port down, and there you go, you're ready for your test. And for that test, you're going to fully submerge your case in a sink or something like that. Now obviously this is not fully submerged, so I'll set a full cup on top of it to make sure that it stays underwater for the full 30-minute duration. Now I've sped the rest of this footage up, but I've put a timer at the bottom so you guys can see how long it was actually submerged. Okay, now we're done with our test, and you're going to want to dry off the case really well so you don't get any water from the outside leaking onto the inside, because you want to make sure that that microfiber cloth on the inside is dry and that it is dry from the submersion and not water being left on the case from it not being dried off properly. So make sure you dry it extremely well. I went to get into all the nooks and crannies, the speaker spots, the microphone spots, just to make sure that I didn't have any issues before I opened it up. All right, now once you're happy that it's dry enough, you're going to want to open the charging port and then go to the bottom corner where there's a little spot to stick your fingernails in and start opening it up, sort of just the way you sealed it. You're going to peel it up from one side to the other and then open it all the way up, pull the microfiber cloth out. And you want to make sure that that microfiber cloth is completely dry. In my case here, because I've done everything properly, followed all the instructions, I have 0 issues and that microfiber cloth is completely bone dry. So now we have the complete leak test out of the way, we can get our iPhone dropped in this case. Peel off the small film in the back side of the case over the clear circle. Then you're going to take your second microfiber cloth and clean off the inside of the case really well, the outside of the case really well, and then make sure that your phone is clean and wiped off on the front and the back surfaces. Then you put your phone into the front side of the case, put the back side on, make sure your O-ring is still intact, and then start pressing it down just as you did for the leak test at the beginning. Go all the way around, make sure there's no gaps in between the two pieces, and then you're going to want to lock down your charging port again, and then you're ready to roll and head out and have some nice adventures and know that your iPhone is going to be safe and waterproof.